Good evening, Facebook. This is Denise here in the Wellness Lounge. How is everybody? I hope everybody is well, and I would like to say happy Halloween. I'm here at home in Shannon, and I can hear fireworks outside, which is nice, So it's Halloween night, and I'm not sure what people are doing or who will join, but I am going to progress anyway. I'm feeling that it's still right for me to be here. And Gillian is there. Hi, Gillian. Thank you. You can hear me. That's good. So welcome back, everybody. Yeah, I'm just really happy to be here again this week. I had serious doubt thoughts this week about whether or not I should be here and what I should be talking about, and all this stuff kind of going on in my head. I'm just trying to honor that really, really strong intuition and nudge, more like a kick. Hi, Grania, that I got the week before last to resume these sessions. It was very, very clear, so I feel like I've kind of been called to do this. So I have to really trust the process, and it's a really good practice for me to do that as well. In my life, I am seen to be someone who's kind of organized, who likes to plan things. I work with a lady sometimes who pays me to help her to get organized. So I'm very much an organized person, and this is the opposite of what I do normally in my work, coming on here. There's a lot of things that I'm doing on here, and that I don't do in my normal work life. So it's quite a challenge for me, and it's really good to, I think, expose that and to break down some of the barriers that I have to just, following maybe guidance or intuition and just talking honestly and openly without a plan and without a script. Because I do that in my normal work. When the presentations I do would be very prepared, and I would know what's happening and what I'm saying next and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's good to be here, and this is really for anybody that this resonates with. A friend of mine asked me last week, how's the Wellness Lounge going, and out of genuine interest, but they wouldn't be someone who would necessarily tune in and listen, which is that's absolutely fine, but it's like hi Andrew, I feel like I have to explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and all the Andrews are on. It's like I feel like I have to say why I'm on here and why I'm talking and what I'm talking about, but I actually really don't. I'm just here because, as I said, I felt drawn to doing it, and that's why I'm here. So I did call this session "Claiming Our Truth," because when I was wondering today about what to actually talk about, I picked up the book that I'm reading every day, which is A Course in Miracles. Hi, Trish. And it just opened on a lesson that I had done recently. And I really feel, and this talk isn't for anyone in particular, it's not for people who read the book or anything, but I just feel like I'm getting so much from it that I feel maybe, it's good for me to share that with you. So I just want to read this lesson. It's very short, and then I'd like just to talk about it, maybe hear your thoughts about it as well, and I'll talk about what it means to me. And it's lesson 251 in the Course in Miracles book, and it's called "I am in need of nothing but the truth." So it says, "I sought for many things and found despair. Now do I seek but one, for in that one is all I need, and only what I need." So it's saying I just seek for one thing, and that is basically all I need. All that I sought before I needed not, and did not even want. My only need I did not recognize. But now I see that I need only truth. In that all needs are satisfied, all cravings end, all hopes are finally fulfilled, and dreams are gone. And dreams here means just illusions, things that are not real. Now have I everything that I could need. Now have I everything that I could want. And now at last I find myself at peace. So this really, really resonated with me because I kind of have spent most of my life searching for things and people and situations and everything outside of myself to make me happy. And I think we grow up in a society like that where we're told, to have success, to be good at school, to be good at sport, to be, it's all our natural conditioning, especially this part of the world. And we're never really given a chance to look within, or encouraged to find, the truth of ourselves, of who we really are, and for me personally, I I kind of believed that from a young age, like, through, this is not a blame exercise, by the way, but just how I kind of interpreted the world was that you have to be really good at things, um kind of everything, if you can, everything you do, try and be the best, and if you're not, then that's kind of a little bit of a problem, or you're not good enough, and that just was something that I kind of had in my little head when I was small, and then that stayed with me into adulthood, and having to be the best, and then having to have the job, have a certain house, have a certain body, a certain partner, have my child to be a certain way, whatever it is, like having to have things a certain way in my life so that I could be happy was something else that I engaged in, and still do up to today. So anything I'm teaching or trying to share on here, I'm actually in the process of learning it myself, which makes the negative doubt thoughts stronger again for me coming on here, because it's kind of like, well, who are you to be talking about A Course in Miracles? Who are you to be talking about, finding truth and all that kind of stuff? But as I said, I'm just trying to go with a deeper guidance that I think I've got on this, just to be here and to be here now, and to share whatever it is going on, so that other people might identify, and that I can help myself as well. This is a hugely helpful exercise for me. Um, so yeah, so with that lesson, what it's saying is, like, I sought for many things and I found despair. I don't know if any of you can identify with that, but like I have found despair in a lot of the things I really went after in life, especially like, what they say in this book is like special relationships, finding that person that was going to complete my life, and that was going to make me happy, by being with them in this relationship. um and part of me, doesn't want to share like that hasn't worked out for me, like part of me is actually saying, now don't talk about that, because, you know why would you want to share that with people? But, for me, coming on here and talking about truth is about being really, really honest, and, if we're all trying to do this together, and there's people here who want to work through this stuff together, then I have to come on here and be honest, so that would have been a big one for me. So I sought for many things and found despair. Now do I seek but one, for in that one is all I need. So I got to a place in my life, you know, I got to a place very, very young, actually, in my life, where I realized that alcohol and drugs were not going to be the answer for me. So that became something with help, I put aside. And then the quest then for the next, couple of decades became the material world, so having to have the job, the career, the house, the car, the relationship, everything. The body, the clothes, the looks, having to look a certain way, so, having to be something that outwardly in the world I could get affirmation for being. And, I did find despair in all of that because it never brought me the happiness that I was really, really looking for. And I'm still learning about that, and I'm still learning about why. And this course is teaching me a lot about, you know, why then when I kind of maybe met people and things didn't work out the way that I wanted them to work out, that I could maybe blame them for doing me wrong, and then I could be a victim in that, and remain the kind of the innocent party, if you like. And I've really had to look at that, what does that serve in my life, playing that role. And if I believe deep down that I'm not enough by myself, then unfortunately what I've discovered is that life will present me with a series of situations that will prove that to me over and over again, that deep down hatred or lack of self-worth that I believe we all have, deep down, and we're all trying to struggle with that. We're all trying to get on in this world, not realizing that there is another way, and what this is suggesting to me is that the other way is just about trying to really, really be honest with ourselves, and say, what am I searching for? And what is it bringing me? What is the purpose of my searching? Um, am I still trying to have the perfect whatever life, be the perfect partner, mom, daughter, whatever? Or am I starting to realize that actually there really is only one thing I need to find, and that is the truth of who I really am? Because if you think about it, right now in this moment, who you are is more than all of your possessions, all of the things that you've been striving to find. And that's what I've found, like all of the spiritual teachings will point us back to the power of now, as Eckhart Tolle would say, or the power of the present moment, and really entering into, right here, right now, what's going on, am I seeking, am I craving, as it says here, but now I see I need only truth. In that, all needs are satisfied, all cravings end, all hopes are finally fulfilled. So, what is the truth? And that's a big question, and I can't really answer that verbally tonight. But I would like to come on here and encourage people to ask and to seek and find, what is my truth? What is true about me? Like, who am I really? Am I just Denise, like in this body, um, and just gonna go 6 foot under someday, and that's it? This is completely pointless. Or is there more? Is there more going on? And if there is, what is it? And how can I find it? And for me, I've been driven towards these questions only by experiencing so much emotional pain, that I've had to look and say, okay, there has to be another way. There has to be another way to live on this planet with myself, this person that I believe I am, and be at peace, you know. And this goes on with a little prayer at the end, and says, and for that peace, our Father, and we give thanks, and what we denied ourselves, you have restored, and only that is what we really want. Um, and I spoke last week about not being a religious person. I'm not affiliated with any particular religion. A Course in Miracles does use kind of biblical terminology, but I don't classify myself as a Christian or a Catholic. I am baptized, and I do I do read, I love the teachings of Jesus, but I don't believe Jesus came to start a religion. Um, and I think all of the spiritual teachers out there are trying to tell us the same thing. Those are my beliefs, and I when it says here, our Father, I'm okay with that. I know a lot of people, and I spoke about this last week, and I'm not going to go on about it again, but that can be off-putting, you know, like this book is apparently channeled, through two people by Jesus. And, when I say that to people, I'm sure they think I'm just a bit crazy for reading the book or whatever it is. But I just feel whatever your pathway, it could be Course in Miracles, it could be, you know, it could be Buddhism, it could be some other, this is like a non-dual teaching, which means that, from my understanding, that we we're taught in this Western world, actually, as we grow up and with most religions, that there is a separate God and then there's us, little humans. Non-dualism doesn't teach that. It teaches that we are one. There is no separation. There never was any separation. And that this person that we have, taken on isn't, in fact, who we think we are. Who we think we are is actually source. It's powerful, all powerful. And being in need of nothing but the truth just means that I just really try to persist on this journey, on this pathway for the truth. And I think now, especially like in this pandemic, we have time, to sit with ourselves. There's been many, many changes for many people, something to a family member today, and there's big changes in their life that they haven't selected. We haven't asked for these changes. So can we make the best use of our time here, and can we really look at, who am I? What am I? What is my purpose? Am I happy? Am I happy? Am I joyful? We don't have to be miserable even with everything that's going on, like it's not a requirement that we become miserable because we can't, socialize or whatever it is. And I know it's hard and I know it's tough, and it's tough to see people that might be feeling a bit isolated. But for me, it's just really about tuning in and finding our point of influence, our point of peace and the truth, really asking, who am I and why am I here and what is this all about? And finding where you're drawn towards, you might be drawn towards different teachers, different teachings. To me, it doesn't matter as long as it's bringing us all home, as I would say. And I'm on my journey there, and I'm still realizing a lot of the beliefs I had about myself were unconscious, like they're buried somewhere in the recesses of my mind. And bringing that out into the light can be really painful sometimes, and it's not the work that everybody wants to do on themselves. But I was brought to a point in my life where I feel I didn't really have any other options. I had kind of tried everything, and all my efforts at certain areas of life, my very, very best efforts were just simply not working anymore. And I don't want to be here and miserable, and I guess that's what brought me to where I am now. It's like, I want to be here and be happy, calm, joyful, free. And so I've had to question, what is freedom? Like, what is freedom to me? Is freedom what I thought was freedom when I was younger is actually, to me, slavery now, finding that I wasn't feeling happy or complete unless I had someone special in my life, or unless I looked a certain way. Like that was a big one for me, like body image kind of stuff. And just paid a huge price emotionally for all that, but that's okay, because it's after bringing me to this clearing ground where I can actually pause now, take a breath, reflect on what has gone on in my life, and what can I take from it, and where am I going? And it's actually really exciting. Like, it's not, I mean, yesterday I had a really heavy day emotionally. And I was today I'm a different person. But I took action. I shared it out. Um, I ask for help. From God of my understanding. Um, I read the course. I ask my course friends to keep me in their prayers. I ask for miracles in my life all the time. Because I know there's a different way of seeing things that in certain situations in my life that cause me huge sadness and pain and discomfort, and I just say, please, there has to be a different way of looking at this. I know I'm not seeing it clearly, and the course is teaching me that there is a different way of seeing things. There's a different way of looking at forgiveness, for example. There's a different way of seeing everybody here, on this planet. um we're actually all made of the same stuff, and we're all going in the same direction, but when we get caught up in our small mindedness and small thinking, I very easily get into blame, criticism, judgment of myself and others. But I bear the weight. I carry that cross myself. If I'm judging someone else and feeling angry or hurt, I carry that. It's me who carries that cross. Like, so I've kind of been round and round in circles, just going like, how can I release myself from these chains? Like, how can I unburden myself of this blame and this hatred and resentment? And I'm finding the answers. I am finding them. There've been things have been revealed to me that I just would never before have seen. Different perspectives, a different way of looking at the world. And I'm still only learning about it. I'm not here to be the expert on that, but I'm just trying to, maybe give people a bit of hope, like anyone that is finding that they're, burdened by strong and heavy emotions and recurring thoughts, and recurring problems, and just feel a bit hopeless and feel they can't let it go or whatever it is. I'm finding that there is a way through that, and it is about realizing that, all I need is to know the truth of who I am, and that at the core of who I am is peace and love, and joy. But it has to be uncovered, beneath the rubble of all this, this mess that our little egoic self can create, out of complete fear and, you know, a lack of understanding. You know, I've made choices and I've come to conclusions about things and people in my life that I just have been misinformed, and I don't blame myself for that now anymore. I just kind of say, God, I see things differently now because I've asked for help. Like, please show me how to see this differently. I don't want to be full of bitterness or resentment or, judgment. And some days I can be, and I just really try and accept and say, okay, this is showing me something. There's something not right here, because I believe my God of my understanding just wants me to be, in perfect peace and joy and happiness. And that was what I spoke about here all the time on the Wellness Lounge was, if you want to find happiness and peace and joy, then, let's try and do that together, because that's all I'm about. That's it. It's as simple as that. And that does mean encountering myself, or who I think I am, and dealing with the mind, the attack thoughts and the attacks of the mind um that happen when I listen to that small self, and give it airtime. So, tonight I'd invite you to, maybe take even 5 minutes after this session or whenever you can, and just, maybe even read something nice, something inspirational, and just sit and breathe and allow that part of yourself space to be there, I just find that even in lockdown, I can be busy, busy, busy. You know, having to do this, having to do that. You know, do that job, do this job. Even when the world has stopped, I can still give myself a to-do list. You know, that keeps me away from just sitting and just allowing, you know, this the true nature of ourselves to arise and breathe and be present, if that makes sense. You know, I really, what I have found in all the listening and learning that I have done over the years, I just, for me, I relate to people who share, you know, practically like, this is what I struggle with, this is how it changed, and this is where I am now, you know. And so for me, I suppose, you know, in summing up today's lesson, I'm in need of nothing but the truth. And I did seek for many things and I did find despair, you know, and if you can identify with that, then just know that there is another way, you know, and I wish all of you, you know, success in finding that other way. Because it's there like for every single person on this planet. I believe that. And I'm here and I'm trying to just be an example of that when I can be, you know. And there's days when I still seek for those things and I still find despair. And then I have to kind of be okay with that and realize, as I said here before, I'm a recovering perfectionist. You know, you've done it again. Okay, that's okay. It's okay. You know, this love and this acceptance is always there. You know, it's always there. It doesn't go anywhere. Just because I decide I'm going to try and do it my way, you know, for the next day or week or hour or whatever, doesn't mean that I can't just stop and go, oh, you know, I surrender. And back into that powerful present moment, you know, where all of our power really, really is, and where beyond measure there's just so much hope and strength and delight just waiting for us if we just choose differently, you know. So I'm going to just read this once more and I'll finish on that. And I just want to thank you all for being here. So, lesson 251 from the workbook of A Course in Miracles, the workbook for students. I am in need of nothing but the truth. I sought for many things and found despair. Now do I seek but one, for in that one is all I need, and only what I need. All that I sought before I needed not, and did not even want. My only need I did not recognize. But now I see that I need only truth. In that all needs are satisfied, all cravings end, all hopes are finally fulfilled, and dreams are gone. Now have I everything that I could need. Now have I everything that I could want. And now at last I find myself at peace. And for that peace, our Father, we give thanks. What we denied ourselves, you have restored. And only that is what we really want. So I wish you that peace this week as you go out and do whatever, be where you are, be with who you are with, and most importantly, being tuned into who you are. Where is your truth? Thanks, Tracy. It was lovely to have you here as well. So just be true, find the truth, and as I said, claim it. You don't really have to look very far. It's there. It's there, just waiting for you to open the door. So much love to you all, and blessings for the week ahead. And I will see you next week. Thank you guys. Okay, take care. Bye for now.